Hey guys, welcome. You're watching Review It with Ree. So I know it's been a minute, it's been an hour, bro, but life gets hectic, guys, and I'm not gonna pretend like I'm gonna be consistent every week uploading content. It's not a possibility. I try, guys. I know lockdown I was the most focused time in SA, but now with academics was saying papa to the gal. So, and they're still saying papa, but we move. We do what? We move. So guys, on a real and serious note, I just want to say thank you for tuning back in. If you're still supporting your girl, and yeah, if this is your first time, I go by the name of Ree Ree for short, and I review series, docu-series, movies, anything really that is digital. So our show for today is The Queen's Gambit. It's on Netflix, and basically the reason I chose this show as my comeback is because I just think that it speaks to me so much, and I know a lot of girls that are very powerful, very prominent, and very confident, and you know, a girl that defies all odds will completely agree with me and completely feel that this series, and it's a limited series by the way, is just exactly what we needed on television, in the whole entertainment sphere. I don't know what we're gonna call it, but we needed something like this, you know, mainly because the main actress is a female, and also because of the message. You know, the message is so powerful, guys. It's so strong. But before we get into the message, I'm gonna tell you about it, obviously, because that's what I do. But yeah, and if you're wondering why Usisi akagqokanga makeups, I just can say that Nimuhe without a makeups. You know, I'm a pretty gal, I'm a cute gal, and the truth is, guys, I just really just wanted to take a break. You know, every day it's me, I'm face beating. So I said, let me just, you know, just
before to rest, before to rest.
Show you who I am without a makeups. And what do you see? The gal is blooming, the gal is hot, the gal is cute. Anyways, so what I was telling you guys is The Queen's Gambit. So what happens is, we have a girl that is raised by her mother, and the father is there but he's not there, and you will see when you watch what I mean by that. And so this girl, her and her mom live a very strange life, but like, she's content, she's happy, you know. Who wouldn't want to be with their mother? That's all, you know. And basically what happens is she ends up being an orphan. Something tragic happens, and like I said, you will see when you watch this series what happens. So she ends up being an orphan, she moves to some orphanage, and it's hell. I mean, not to say living with her mom was not basically kind of hell. You better off in the hell that you know than in a hell that you don't know, I'd assume, as a human being. Like, I'd rather be with my mom and it's not so great than be with complete strangers. And I'm not realizing that being with my mom is not so great because I love my mom, you know. I think she's doing her best. That's what I know. I don't know what it's like to be a mother, you know. So, but obviously as a viewer, you can see that this mama, something is not right, but you know, she's a child, she doesn't know any better. Great. So she moves to this orphanage, and in that orphanage she bumps into the janitor, who is called Mr. Scheibel, and Mr. Scheibel is a chess player. So he plays chess in his free time in the basement. So in the basement, how she got there is because they have those boards, the chalkboards, and obviously the thing needs to be dusted. So you know, you need to go to the bin and dust it. So that's what she would do, and that's where she figured out Mr. Scheibel, and she figured out chess. That's the first time she saw a chessboard, first time she saw the game. And she asked to play, and he was like, I don't play with strangers. See? So Chapeau Miguel goes to bed and she starts to reimagine the board, reimagine the game in her head. So while he was playing, from the few seconds that she got to watch, she started staying up at night and looking at the ceiling and reimagining the board. And so she'd do that often, go downstairs, watch him, you know. So eventually she came to him and she's like, listen bro, I ain't no stranger. I basically stay with you. So you're gonna show me how to play this game because I know how to play it too. And he's like, shh, girl, wait. Then she's like, let me show you. And she knew how to play just from watching. And obviously the ritual of staying up at night, reading, going through the board game, you know, looking on the ceiling. So, and the reason she stays up at night, you'll see why. It's so messed up. So, okay, Chapeau Miguel now starts playing with Mr. Scheibel, and Mr. Scheibel sees that no, this girl is actually really, really, really good. And he's willing to teach her, you know. And that for me was, wow, my heart. Like, I was really like touched and moved by that, especially during the time that she was living in, you know. Then people never really wanted to empower women, you get what I'm saying? So it was really, it was heartfelt. But anyways, so guys, Chapeau, then this girl does something. Her name is Elizabeth, by the way. I don't know why I haven't said her name. Her name is Elizabeth Harmon. I am so sorry. Anyway, so Elizabeth now, the reason she's staying up at night becomes a problem, right? And she does something and it gets her in trouble. Then her, what do you call it? The matron basically tells her that she can't play chess anymore. So what happened is Mr. Scheibel made Elizabeth meet some chess player guy who works at a high school, and she would go to the high school, she would play with the high school kids, mostly the boys. And they saw that this girl has a talent, like she's good, you know. And so because Elizabeth did something wrong at the orphanage, the matron was like, Raps, you're banned from playing chess. So Miguel grows up and she basically had a friend at this orphanage called Jolene, who's a black girl, and basically she found Jolene there. And Jolene is a bit older than her when she arrives, and then they grow up together and they basically end up being the few orphans that don't get adopted. And they joke around about how, yeah, we're basically gonna die here, no one wants us, blah blah blah, and Elizabeth gets adopted. So that's when everything just transforms. She gets adopted, and this family she's adopted into, I don't think they really have enough money. So when she goes to school, she's dressed in raggedy clothes. They make a joke out of her. They just make her feel trash. You know what I mean? But she's a strong girl, so that doesn't really get to her. But it gets to her, but she's just like, whatever. And I think that's why she resorts to chess, because that's where she's dominate, that's where she's strong, and that's where she takes over, you know what I mean? And so she tries to get a chessboard, and her adopted mother's like, yo babes, there's no money for that, but you can learn to save, maybe you can get it. And then she finds out that there's actually chess competitions, and she decides to join that, obviously to make money. And she wins the competitions. And the funny thing is, throughout those competitions, men are constantly telling her that she can't do this. No, they basically, okay, they don't literally say that, no dude, you can't do this, but their actions, the way they talk to her, the way they shoot her, they look down on her, basically, like all men do to women. Okay, not all men, let me not generalize, but majority. So, okay, she wins the competition and she ends up in the newspaper, and it's like a huge sensation that this young girl won the chess competition. What a marvel. And her adopted mother is like, what? You actually won this thing? Like, here I was telling you that you go play with other girls. Gandhi, this is your thing. She's like, you know what? There's another competition. I want you to go to that competition. I know how much we need exactly for that competition. Let's go, girl. So girl's like, okay, school. She's like, don't worry, I got it. So they go to these competitions, they travel, you know, and she wins, and she wins, and she wins, and she just becomes basically a national sensation, right? And so her first loss, because you know the truth is you can't win all the time. You have to lose in order to see what your weaknesses are so that you can win again and become the best. So, and I like that, because I think it would have been unrealistic if she's just winning constantly. Like, life is not like that. So she meets this guy called Benny Watts, and Benny Watts is like the US champion, you know, no one has ever beat this shit. And she loses, and it gets to her, it frustrates her, like, what the hell, you know, I had this all planned out. And her mom is like, you need to understand that it's okay to lose, these things happen. And she's just like, I can't lose, you know, it gets to her. And then she obviously comes back for a rematch, she wins. And then she goes for the world champion, Bogov. Bogov is from Russia, and he's an old guy, but he's been playing chess for the longest of times, you know what I mean, since he was a kid. So this is his, what can you call it? This is his expert, like, this is his expertise, like, he's the boss of this, you know what I mean? Hence they call them grandmasters, he's a grandmaster. So she plays this Bogov gent, but the problem is she had a very rough night before the day of the game. So she was not prepared. And when I say this, I think she really could have won. But because, like I said, her unpreparedness, she lost. And I think that's where she started to spiral, and she just lost it, you know, she just lost it. Like, she lost herself, you know, she was a mess, a hot mess. And Jolene comes back, or not comes back, but sort of like comes back into her life in a way that she's like, dude, I've been trying to get a hold of you, you know, you don't answer your phones, no one knows where you are. So I figured I'd just come to your house, and here you are, and I can see that you are a hot mess. And Jolene basically convinces her that, dude, like, this is not the way to live life, you know, you've been traveling, you've been at the top, what's going on? Pick yourself up, girl, and do what you came on this earth to do. Chapeau. So Jolene gives this girl her law money. Jolene wanted to go to law school, and as a black woman, going to law school at that time was like, what do you mean? How? So she's saving up for this law school money, and she gives some of her law school money to her sister Elizabeth, and she's like, you know, I know that during this time you needed me, and that is why I'm willing to give you this money. And for me, I love that, because like I said, at those times, you know, it was not a thing that black and white people should be getting along. Like, there was still segregation, there was still racism, you know, but in this particular show, they don't show that. They show a sisterhood, they show a bond, and it shows that really, actually, I'm not even gonna go to the topic of race because we're not here for that, but you guys get where I'm going with this. Chapeau. So she goes to Russia to compete with Bogov for the final time. And obviously, I'm not ruining anything, but obviously she wins, guys. But the climax, the build up, the guys, I cried. The last episode, like, you know, like, tears. I cried because the work that went into getting her to win was just so beautiful. The people that came together to help her win, you know, just everything, guys, like, it was overwhelming. It was almost like you fell and you were picked up, and you didn't just pick yourself up, you were picked up by others as well, you know. And the same others were people that were not about you in the beginning, but because they saw your greatness, they became about you, you know what I mean? Which is messed up, but it is what it is. And also, yeah, so essentially she wins, and she becomes the champion of chess, a woman in that time. This is 1960s, 1970s, you got. So why this show for me was so remarkable is because, like I said, she was defying odds. You know, she was defying what in a patriarchal world was seen as abnormal, you know. It was just like, what are you doing? Chess is for men. Who are you? And she was like, I am who I am, and I'm here to show you that I can do this. You ain't gonna tell me nothing just because I'm a woman. And I think that's just so powerful and profound, because I really think this is a show that you should be showing to girls in girls' schools. You should be showing to girls in general that, listen, babes, doesn't matter whether you are a girl, whether you are black, whether you are 5, whether you are 14, doesn't matter. It shouldn't make you feel that you're less than, and you shouldn't let this patriarchal society get to you, you know. And I think that's where we're headed as women. We're trying to change this, well, not change, but dismantle this system. And it's obviously gonna take time, but it starts with one person. You know, those type of things, like a woman winning something that is seen as for men, it sparks a conversation, and it shows other girls that, listen, you can do this. There's nobody and there's nothing that's going to tell you that you can't do this. If you get up and you say, I'm doing this, you're doing it. You go. So for me, like, I think that's why I stood up the most for me, because I know I've always been someone that doesn't believe in gender norms or expectations from society. Like, you can't tell me that I can't drive a sports car because it's for guys. Who said? According to whose norms? According to whose authority? You know what I mean? So for me, guys, I just think this show was amazing, well written, well executed, and just amazing. But anyways, okay, I'm cutting the drama, but guys, please check the show out. Let me know what you think. Give me your feedback. How do you interpret this show? How do you know, do you think it was good? Do you think it was bad? You know, I'm open to anything. If you think it was whack, that's okay. Let me know. Comment in the section below. You know, let's start a conversation. I mean, everyone that I've told to watch the show before I actually reviewed it has told me that, girl, you put me on. And what do? I put people on. Hi, what's my name? V2F, baby. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope I've enticed you to want to watch The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. And yeah, guys, please follow me on all my social media pages. Don't forget to comment in the section below. Don't forget to subscribe. Come on, guys, vote to 200. And yeah, guys, stay updated, stay posted, stay relevant, and stay on. Bye.